Hi again. Let's just take a moment and explore a new IPEDS tool called the Trend Generator. The Trend Generator can be found at this part of the home screen here, and you notice it's emblazoned with the new banner. So we're going to go ahead and click on that, and we're going to go off the IPEDS site and visit the center. We see we have some options here. It's a quick and easy way to look at these data points nationally. I'll show you how to delimit that. But let's say financial aid, for instance. We're interested today in knowing, since financial aid is often sort of a proxy, the receipt of financial aid for low income status, especially Pell Grants, let's take a look at what the percent of undergraduate students receiving Pell Grants might be. Click on that, and I have already asked IPEDS to create a table state by state by state. And here's our 39.3%, and that's our national figure. And let's say that we're interested in the values over time here. Notice that what we have when we do that are these charts, and these are entering students, 2008, 2009 here, all the way through 2013 and 14. So we see a sort of an incline here for these years, and then we see a decline, or maybe a slight decline, but sort of a plateauing for the most recent years for which data are available. We don't have an explanation for this, but we suspect it's probably related to the Great Recession that we went through. Now we're going to go back and take a look then at a couple other possible variables, and let's take a look at something near and dear to our heart, graduation and retention rates. Since we are good community college educators, we're probably very interested in what the graduation rate is within 150% of time at two-year post-secondary institutions. And we notice over here on the side that we're able to get a definition box up for that, which helps us add some precision to our question. If you notice, it says 150% of normal time. In IPEDS speak, that means 150% of the time a full-time student would take to complete a degree. A two-year student going full-time should be able to complete a degree in 2 years. IPEDS, factoring in part-time students, also uses 150% of time, or in other words, 3 years, as the time measure for whether or not that student completed. Here's the other thing that's interesting, full-time, first-time undergraduates. Notice that it doesn't say part-time students. So you're already limited within this graduation rate to those students who entered as full-time students. Okay, well, let's go ahead and see what that data says. And here we have 30.7. So that tells us here that nationally, at two-year institutions, full-time, first-time students within 150% of time have a completion or a graduation rate of 30.7% based on 2,038 institutions. So we may be interested in how this all stacks up. So let's tell it to go ahead and build a table. And we want to know state by state by state, how does this look? We click on that, we click on the white space, and it generates a table for us. And that table basically looks at that same number that we had, which was the total number here, which is the 30.7. And then shows you that some states do actually better than other states. For instance, Alaska, 72.4%. That's would indicate that probably first-time students in Alaska are pretty well committed to getting their degrees within that 150% of normal time. Well, how does it look across other states that we know about? And if we look and if we think about the current situation, we would say, I wonder how it looks in New Jersey. So we come up here and we see that New Jersey has a 21.6% graduation rate. We might ask the reasons why, since that's significantly less than the national rate. Okay, that's the IPEDS trend generator, a powerful tool, and again, good for isolating one or two variables, putting it in context, a state context, a regional context if you want. This tool can occupy a wonderful place in your smart kit. Thank you very much.